from a radar station, so here's our radar station, I'm going to call it R. The angle of elevation to approaching airplane, so here's my airplane. Angle of elevation is always from the horizontal looking up. So this angle right here is 32.5 degrees. We're going to make a right angle triangle. And it tells us that the horizontal distance, remember horizontal goes left to right, so that would be down here, is 35.6. How far is the plane from the radar? We want to find this value here. So here's my angle. Based on this angle, the x is a hypotenuse. This 35.6 is my adjacent side. So when I look at my definitions, which one deals with the adjacent side and the hypotenuse? Cosine. So we write cos of the angle, 32.5, is equal to the adjacent side, 35.6, over the hypotenuse. Now, over time, you're going to be able to do this all in one step. A couple of things that you may already know about fractions is that you can interchange things on fractions and equations are still the same. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to switch the x and the cos 32.5. Imagine, what did I do 2 steps at once? I multiplied both sides by x. Can you see that multiplying both sides by x would move the x up over here? And then the next step is dividing both sides by cos 32.5, which would move that there. And so if you want to, once you get good at these, to do that all in one step, that's fine. Then we go and type this into our calculator. 35.6 divided by cos of 32.5, 42.2. And that always works with fractions. Let's take 2 fractions that are the same. 2/3 is equal to, say, 6/9. Do you agree? If I switch these two, the fractions are no longer the same. But is it still true? Is 9/3 equal to 6/2? Yeah. What happens if I had switched these two? Is 2/6 equal to 3/9? What happens if you take both fractions and flip them? If I take it and I write 3/2, is that equal to 9/6? And so if you play around with fractions, what we're actually doing when we're switching things is a whole bunch of multiplying both sides by something, dividing both sides by something, right? If I want to switch the 9 and the 2, I would have to first multiply by both sides by 9. That would move the 9 up here into the numerator. And if I wanted to move the 2 down to the other side, I would have to divide both sides by 2, and that would move it there. But if you get used to these things, when you have a fraction equals a fraction, and you can easily manipulate it, you're going to find that it's going to save you a lot of time and get you to your answer a lot quicker. So if you haven't played around with fractions like that, play around with it. See what kind of things you can do that still keep them equal. And see if you can think what operations you would need to do to both sides of the equation so that it makes sense to you why you're allowed to do that.